Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Rose with another video. Damn, I almost forgot my own name. Anyways, I told you guys that I was going to film a couple of video back to back. Here I am again. Nothing has changed. You guys are gonna get used to this face, okay? So anyways, so let's get in this video. So this video, I wanted to talk about romance scam. Okay, this has become a $1 billion business, and for it to be a $1 billion business is because people are still getting scammed, successfully scammed, and it's now a full-on corporation. It is structured, it's managed correctly, it's bigger. It's not just that one person that is calling you on the phone and trying to scam you. It's multiple people working in offices trying to scam you, right? And now that we have AI, it's becoming more and more difficult for people to see when they're being scammed. And I think we need to have that type of conversation. It doesn't happen only to older people. We have that misconception. We have that idea that it's only going to happen to somebody that is not educated, that is old, that is lonely. Yes, it could happen to those people, but it could also happen so easily to somebody that is not those things. Okay, it could happen to somebody that is younger. It could happen to somebody that is not necessarily lonely, but it's going through a difficult time in their life and their discernment is not there fully.
I wasn't going to share this because honestly it's a little embarrassing, but if it helps someone else avoid what happened to me, then it's worth it. So a while back I started talking to someone online who said that they were in the military. We talked for months. We had this insane connection. They sent photos, videos, everything just felt so real. They talked about being deployed overseas and eventually coming home. Then one day they told me that something happened.
Just recently in 2026, federal authorities shut down a major romance scam operation in Cambodia. The interesting part is when they raided the building, they saw a whiteboard over in the corner. Now, what's interesting is what's on this whiteboard that should be terrifying to all of us. This is what was captured on the whiteboard itself. Our work is mainly to find customers from dating apps and social media and build those relationships and trust with them. Now, why do y'all think they're trying to do that? This is the playbook. This is what they're doing in order to get these romance scams going and to get money out of you. But it gets better. This was a full-blown operation. So as a part of this raid, you're seeing a building full of workers that have scripts, a manager. They're telling them what to say, right? And then based on your situation, your vulnerability, they're telling them exactly what to say back to you in order to gain your trust and your love, whatever the case may be, that much quicker. They have quotas. And then the manager tells them exactly when to introduce the emergency, because we know with romance scams, you got to introduce the emergency. And then they're even telling them how much money to extract from this individual. So if they seem extremely vulnerable, they may start off with a large amount of $5,000, or if they just want to test the waters, they'll create a minor emergency and say maybe $500 and then just kind of build it from there. But this is a real operation that was actually shut down. This is the reason why from 2024 to 2025, romance scams have gone up to $943 million. And this is just based on the people who admitted it, right?
Romance scammers will use this secret manipulation trick to scam you. But what is it called? Romantic imagery. What's that supposed to mean? This is part of the neuroscience for relationships. Okay. Think about it like this. How do people maintain long-term distance relationships? They can't really meet in person. Bingo. Your mind will create imagination to fulfill that missing piece in the relationship. What do you guys think about this manipulation trick used by romance scammers?
I feel like it's sad that some people that, we try to help are just not willing to be helped.
This woman right here thought she was engaged to TikTok comedian Matt Rife. She'd sent him over $100,000. She was finalizing her divorce, about to sell her house and give him $2 million more. She even tattooed his initials on her finger. See if we could actually help her out.
I don't think I would send him any money. I'm actually kind of glad to get this behind me.
Good.
I have been so mad and so disappointed. And now I'm sitting here going, you know what? I owe you an apology. It's okay.
The next day, David had a plan to use our bank site to track this guy down even further. But all of that went out the window when we got a call from Amanda a few days later.
What's going on here?
I said, since the catfish team has been here, have you sent money? She says, yes. I said, how much? She said, $400. I go, today, right? She goes, yes.
I don't know what else this lady wants. I don't know what else she's looking for. I feel like it's sad that some people that, you know, we try to help are just not willing to be helped.
So I figured it was time for me to share the reason why I decided to completely quit online dating. You guys, y'all already know I have been open about this in the past. I have made videos about my horrible dating experiences with dates that I've gone on online. But this is a story that literally just made me not want to date online anymore. And y'all are in for a treat. I love love. I think it is absolutely beautiful, and I cannot wait till I meet somebody who I'm like on the same level with, like I'm on the same page. And I am also older now, I'm 34, and I realize like I don't want my love story to be like I slid into her DMs or we met online. So I would much rather attempt to meet someone in person than to meet somebody online at this point in my life. But anyways, this was back in 2021. I was back on Hinge again. You already know how the story goes. I was on enough Hinge. I actually think I went back on Hinge after that for a while before I decided that I really just don't want to do online dating anymore. And I started talking to this guy who honestly, literally everything, you know that saying, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Literally, this guy was freaking perfect. His profile, there was something on his profile that stood out to me, and I can't remember what the call out was, but I do remember his response was he wants to be a good son to his mother, an amazing father to his future children, and a perfect husband to his future wife. And like that line right there like melted my heart, like literally my heart, and then just melted. So of course I liked this person. I liked the call out because that's what really got me, and I was not expecting a like back, but I did. I got a like back, and we started talking. So from morning to night we were literally texting, or we were on the phone. Like mostly throughout the day we were texting, but every night we were on the phone with each other, and I loved that. Now according to him, he lives in Battery Park City, and when we had first started talking, he told me that he was going away for like a month. I think it was a month. Yeah, it was about a month. He was going away, and he would be back at the ending of November. So he gave me the option of wanting to meet him beforehand or just waiting until he came back. And I was just like, I'm gonna wait for you to come back, because we had literally only been talking for 2 weeks right before he had left. And I was just like, I have no problem waiting. Like I'm not in a rush for anything. So throughout this guy's whole entire trip, he would literally say things to me like he was gonna buy me really nice things. Supposedly he had a really good job. He was like an investment banker, blah, blah, blah. And he was gonna buy me all these nice things, and I would always tell him it's not about what you can give me, it's about what you do for me, like how you treat me. And like throughout his whole trip, we stood talking. So at this point, we had been talking for about a month and a half, and it wasn't towards the end of the trip when things started to kind of like just, I guess, unravel. So there was one day in particular where he tried to ask me for $500. Yeah, he said that he needed it for a client and he couldn't access his bank accounts. So I'm not the one, buddy. Like I don't care who you are. But if you're like a stranger that I have not met, I don't care how long I've been talking to you, there's no way I'm sending you money. It doesn't work that way. So I declined. I had to tell him that I did not have enough. No, it wasn't $500. It was $2,000 that he wanted. It was $2,000 for a client, and I was just like, that's way above my pay grade, so absolutely not. But I said it in a nicer way, and like he begged. He tried so hard. He begged so much, and I did not budge, not one bit, because absolutely not. But it wasn't until the day he was supposed to be returning, he sent me his flight information, and we were on the phone talking, and he's like, I need you to do me a favor, and I have like a deadline that I need to meet. Can you get me Apple gift cards? Once he said Apple gift cards, I was like, this man is a scammer. I had spent about 6 weeks talking to a scammer. Because like everybody knows, Apple gift cards are like a dead giveaway. They're like the scammers go-to. I, of course, said no, we're not doing that. And he got like really upset and was like, it's fine, I'll talk to you when you get home. I'll talk to you when I get home. He actually gave me the option of meeting him at the airport, or he could like pick me up or whatever. And I was like, I'm not going to the airport because of the time the flight comes in, but I'll see you when you get here. So the next day comes, and I check the tracking of the flight, and it shows the flight did land. And I remember just like texting him nonstop saying, hey, Did you get in safely? I've been tracking your flight. I saw it landed. No response. And it wasn't until I decided to call that I got a message saying the mobile number you are trying to contact has been disconnected. Damn. I know not everyone is a scammer. I know not everyone is a scammer. But as I said, I just don't want my love story to be about meeting online or sliding into someone's DMs. That's just not it for me. But that one was a tough one. Like, I was actually really heartbroken over that one, so. But let this be a reminder that if something seems too good to be true, then it probably is. And if they start asking you for money, no, absolutely not. Especially if you've never met them, no.
Frederick Kumi, also known as Abu Trika, has just been arrested in Ghana for his role in a criminal network that stole millions of dollars from American victims. Abu Trika and his criminal group allegedly used AI softwares to create convincing fake identities online. With these identities, they built close emotional relationships with elderly, lonely, and vulnerable victims who were in search for love. Once trust was established, the financial request began. Victims were persuaded to send money for different fake emergencies, like medical bills and business investments that never existed. Authorities say the victims sent their money to Abu Trika, who helped move the funds to his other criminal partners in Ghana. The operation was structured, deliberate, and designed to drain victims of everything they had. In all, Abu Trika allegedly made $8 million from his schemes. Now, if convicted, Abu Trika is facing up to 20 years in prison. This case is another reminder of how romance scams continue to evolve with new technology. Please stay vigilant.
And then as the relationship progressed, there became a lot of manipulating and gaslighting, not just the love bombing. It's not just the gaslighting. Get to a point where you can't trust yourself and you don't know where to go to, who to turn to, and every decision you make doesn't seem like the right one. You even decisions that don't include him. You wake up in the morning and you're like, well, should I wear this outfit? Should I wear that outfit? Well, I don't know. Like, what's going to be like? You cannot make a decision to save your life. You cannot function in a sane format because this person has confused you, every part of you, to such an extent that you can't even trust your.
So we just finished watching how scam can be complex. It's not straightforward. It's not something that you can see happening. And romance scams are even worse because you're looking for love, you're on a dating app, this person is giving you attention, this person is giving you this, and meanwhile they're trying to scam you. That reminds me of a story of one of my friends that a girl that I used to know, and we were talking. And that girl, she's a bit older. She's in her 40s or so. And she was so much looking for love, and I commend her. She was putting herself out there. And then she approached me and said, Rose, I just found somebody online and I think they're going to be a very good match for me. And she's talking to me and she's like, oh my God, I don't even know how I got so lucky. He's wealthy, he is an investor. And I'm like, investor? What kind of investment? She's like, day trading. I'm like, day trading? But this man is talking to you every single minute of the day. I know my background is finance. For the longest time I worked in the finance world. And I took the time, even before I worked in the finance world, I took the time to educate myself on investment, accounting, all of that. I know. I went and I was like, how do I invest? Mutual funds, all of that. How does this work? I went and. Anyways, so I know that for a day trader, you have to be in front of your screen and you cannot be distracted. I cannot be texting somebody, wondering how they are, blah, blah, blah. I have to have a section of my day that is completely blocked off and I'm locked in, okay? Because everything goes, sorry guys, because everything goes super fast. So when she started telling me how attentive he was, and then they would text back and forth without any break, I was like, I don't know about that one. Not because he was wealthy and not because she didn't deserve a man that was wealthy. She did deserve a man that was wealthy, but things were not adding up. And then she was telling me that he lived overseas, and I was like, how convenient. And then she was telling me that he had a family member that lived very close to her. I was like, oh, how convenient. And he was like, oh, I take care of that family member whenever I'm able to. He's like an uncle, and he took me in as like he took me in as his own son when my own parents were not able to take care of me. The full story, okay? I won't say too much because I don't want, you never know. She might look at this this video and be like, oh my God, Rose, I can't believe that you used my story. But nobody will know who I'm talking about anyways. I know so many people, so it's just not gonna happen. So yeah, but after a while, I was like, are you sure this is legit? And she was like, well, what does he want? Like, I have no money to give him. I'm like, okay, but it's not always about money. It could be about, you may not have money, but you do have the ability to walk in a bank and ask for a loan or a credit card. You do have the ability to receive, say, an e-transfer, for example. Oh, in Canada it's e-transfer, but like a wire transfer, and have that wire transfer be sent somewhere else. Like oftentimes what a scammer would do is that they will send you money and say, oh my goodness, this was the wrong amount that I sent you. Can you send it back to me and I'll resend it back to you? And then they send you the money, and then you send it back to a different account. So like that is a way to make sure that the money goes through somebody else versus them transfer it directly to that account. Okay, it becomes difficult for the bank to trace, or which could put you in a very tough situation, right? Money laundering, essentially that's what it is. And you may be found guilty of doing something like that, even though that was not your intention, right? So we had that conversation, and she's like, you know what, this is getting too much, let me break it off. The moment that she decided to break it off, that man went ballistic, like sending her message. And then the message got a little bit sexual. He even sent his, like, a picture of his private parts and blah blah blah. And in one of the picture, I think he was in a panic mode. And one of the pictures, when you zoomed in, because I was able to zoom in, you can see a reflection of somebody, and it did not match the description or the picture that he sent to us, right? So we were like, oh no. Ouch. We were like, oh no, you need to break it off, block him, and do not contact him ever again. And it took her a couple of days to do it because she was already emotionally attached to the idea of having him. But eventually she quit the situation, and everything ended up well. But if this lasted a little bit longer, this only lasted 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, so many things were said, so many things were exchanged, where she already felt attached to that person. So imagine if you're talking to somebody for 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 7 weeks, 4 months. This is why romance scams are hard to stop, because you get emotionally attached to the person. Believe me, I'm a girl that has been celibate for 7 years, and I'm gonna make a video about that actually. I've been celibate for 7 years, and sometimes I find myself feeling super lonely. It happens, okay? It happens. And say that you've been single for a year and then you meet somebody online and they text you good morning, they text you in the day, they text you good night. If you haven't done the work to be emotionally okay on your own, it is so easy to expect those messages, to expect that kind of interaction, even if they're not physically there where you can hold them. To have that text, you get that smile on your face in the morning and you're like, yeah, my life is not so bad. There's hope. There's hope for a better future. There's hope for like something exciting to happen in my life. That fantasy is ignited. And when you get into that fantasy, romantic idea, it's very hard to break it. Because when you think about something, you guys can do it. It doesn't have to be romantic. When you think about something good happening to you, you get so excited. You get dopamine surged in your body. You get excited. You're ready for the gym. You're ready to go have a good time. Life looks more livable. Life looks more beautiful. The sun looks beautiful. Everything. The birds are singing. The birds are singing, and you cannot imagine how lucky you are to have met somebody that does all the little things, remember everything that you say. It's like they're laser focused on you. That is a drug. That is a drug of wanting to be loved, wanting to be accepted, wanting to be validated. All of those insecurities that we have that we don't address, they can prey on that. So if you think it can't happen to you, you are the first one that is vulnerable. At any moment when you're vulnerable, it can happen to you. I know all of this, and I'm still using my discernment for it not to happen to me. You don't have to be at online dating. It could happen where people scam you and they're right in front of you. Scammers right in front of you, they do happen. Online happens too. You can get scammed so easily nowadays. And now that people understand the amount of money you can do or the amount of money you can make by being a scammer, it's a profession now. It's literally a profession. Being a professional scammer, you can call them a scammer, a confident man, it doesn't matter. Now that it's so lucrative to be one, you're going to have to watch out for more and more and more scammers. Welcome to the new world that we live in. Technology makes things easy, and it makes things easier for the scammers. So until the next video, this is gonna be it. Let's talk about it. Let's bring forward our awareness. Let's bring forward the conversation about scamming, romance scamming, all of that. It's a real thing, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. We better get used to it. Okay, bye guys.